Hey there, guys. Welcome back to the second period of the power play. Wait a minute. Something's not right here. Be back in a second. So, as I was saying, welcome back to the second period of the power play about original games that got the shaft. The next one up on our list really was not only just an original game, but it was also an original company. You see, the companies that had created this game, Phantom Effects and 8 Monkey Labs, this was their very first game release. Not only their very first game release, but their very first game release on an experimental engine called the Marmoset engine that they had created themselves. It was really a very risky undertaking, if you ask me. And knowing full well that this game was going to be compared against the entirety of the first-person shooter market, all the Halos and the Far Cries and the occasional Call of Duty. But of course, I'm pretty sure many of you are at least somewhat familiar with the game that I'm talking about and the terrible, terrible reviews that it got, including a 3.6 out of 10 on IGN. For those of you who aren't familiar with the game that I'm talking about, I am referring to the release for the Xbox 360 and the PC, but I will be playing it on the 360 today, Darkest of Days. And when you think about it, Darkest of Days is really a very cool What the?
Oh, what are you playing?
Darkest of Days for the Xbox 360.
Oh, can I review it with you? Can I?
Alright. Fine. You can review it with me.
Oh, awesome!
Okay, so let's get right into the game. Okay, folks, here's the skinny. You play as Alexander Morse, a soldier that is saved from death at the Battle of Little Bighorn by a time-traveling agency known as Chronotech. And in return, you have to help them fix major aberrations in time and rescue 2 soldiers who are thrown into battle when they really weren't supposed to be there. The first one is Joseph Welsh, a Union soldier during the Civil War, and the other is Captain Petrovich, a Russian captain during World War I. You go through most of these adventures with your compatriot Dexter, who is, I'm very sure, a competitor for the title of the most foul-mouthed video game character ever.
One of the big things they focused on during the battles was maintaining historical accuracy. So rest assured that all of the battles in the game go exactly the way that they happened in real life.
One of the reasons that they claimed that Darkest of Days received such a low score was because they said you were spending most of your time in the game fighting unorganized mobs, which
Come on, man. Keep together. I once saw a guy get his arm clear off. Let's move out.
What the heck?
What's going on?
Wait, standard firing? What? Wait a minute, what? What's going...
Oh,
this is gonna
suck.
Hit the deck!
Oh god, I don't want to die.
You call that unorganized?
I think I just wet myself.
But seriously, events like that happen really often, especially in the Civil War sections. Not to mention the common firing lines as well as the trench rushes in World War I. The bottom line is these characters act like soldiers in that time period would. Trench rushes, normal firing lines, things like that. Especially with the Marmoset engine, which can handle literally hundreds of enemies on screen at once, all of them able to function on their own. Which is remarkable that they even managed to get that to work using with the experimental engine that they had. Another thing that, and you had to see this coming, another reason that a lot of people complain that Darkest of Days isn't that good is simply because the graphics are subpar. If we reviewed all games by that statute, pretty much any of the classics from the PS2, games like Okami, one of my personal favorites, games like the Kingdom Hearts series, another well-known series in the PS2, games for the PS2 and the GameCube, and all of the last generation consoles would be viewed as bad if we reviewed all games by those statutes. After all, we all know the wise saying from Master Yoda,
Better graphics do not a better game make.
right. But I digress. Another really cool feature with the game is that if things get a little too chaotic, it gives you the ability to use modern weaponry. Well, modern for another 100 or so years in the future anyway. It allows you to take these and, as Dexter put it, engage in some numerical adjustments. This is going to be fun. Let's see how tough that firing line is now. Das Vidania. I love future technology. What?
Overkill much?
Maybe a little. Alright, but that leaves us down to one final thing. My score for Darkest of Days. While it does have some issues that I didn't address here, some bugs on there are some bugs on occasion, but they're nothing game-breaking. Just some minor little glitches here and there. And a few graphical hiccups that aren't really that big of a deal. Overall, I'd give this game a final score of 8 out of 10. It's a fantastic first effort from Phantom Effects and 8 Monkey Labs, and I would love to see more from these guys. Even though there is no multiplayer in Darkest of Days, I found myself playing the single-player campaign over and over and over again for the sole reason that I just enjoyed the story so much. And I'm not going to spoil anything here for you guys. I actually want you to go out and play for yourselves because it's real. I really recommend it that much. It's really a great game. If you could just get over the graphics, which aren't as good, if you could just get over that, you'll be fine. It's a fantastic game. So that brings us to the end of the second period here on the first episode of the Power Play. We are now past the halfway point and coming around the final bend. Come and join us in the third period when we'll talk about a game whose badness, whose pure suckitude is literally legendary. That's it for the second period here, guys. We'll see you in the third. Have a great time in intermission, guys. See you around.
Bye!